All right, this is the new MTH FP45 project that I just finished. Been working on it for a couple of weeks. This started as a frame, a set of trucks, and a belly pan. I bought the frame and belly pan at an auction, and it did not have any kind of markings determining what it came off of. The only clue that I had to go off of was this little step that was on the side of the frame. That step corresponds with this door that's on the side of the cab, and that's how I figured out it was an FP45. Bought it, found one shell available, this really nice black and yellow Susquehanna, got the shell in, and then kind of went to work on it. This has a smoke unit on it, and it's right underneath this vent. Unfortunately, the vent doesn't open. So it's hard to get fluid in. There's a guy on the internet that drilled a big hole through the top to put a bottle of fluid in. I used a red hot needle and then put a little size hole in the center so that I could run a needle bottle down into oil, because if not, you can't get fluid in without taking the shell off. On the front of the shell, it came with cab corner lights and overhead centers. And on the mold, you could see where there were lights supposed to be here, but there were no lights. And when you looked at pictures of FP45s in real life, most of them had their lights coming from the nose, and some of them even had like the top center lights covered over. So I got 3mm LED lights from Evans Lighting, used where you could see in the mold there were supposed to be lights, drilled that out, and then painted it black. There was a little bit of chipping with the paint. But I just painted it black, and honestly the contrast when the lights are on looks really pretty cool. And now it has a ton of light from the front. I found a set of motors on eBay. Don't have boards for it, so I did what I usually do. There is a bridge rectifier in it. The bridge rectifier turns the AC track power into DC voltage so that the can motors can run. Under the front corner, under here, there is a switch that turns the smoke on and off. On the other corner, there is another switch, and that switch controls forward and backwards. It's just a little double pull, double throw. It's tight, so when I switch directions with it, I tend to just use a little flathead screwdriver to get down there. On the back, there are lights back here on the top that I rigged so that when I throw the switch into reverse, those rear lights light up the back, but they don't turn on when the locomotive is running in forward. So now we have a way to get fluid in, and we have a bunch of light on the front. When you barely hit the throttle, you can see all the light that we get on this. Very cool. So here's one lap around. Dual motor FP45. Very bright lights. Like I said, they're all LEDs. They come from Evans Lighting. Really pretty little locomotive. Love the paint job. Kind of glad this was the one shell I could find. So with a little bit of upgrades, and all built from scrap parts.